we're gonna put on our aluminum foot pegs now. This is one of the simpler optional parts to install, but they really add to the look. They look really great. So let's get going on that. First thing we got to do is we got to get the rider's legs off. So we'll start by pulling up the jersey in the top, and we'll grab the body clip here that's through the pin, and we'll pull that out, and then we'll kind of push the pin out the back and then just kind of pull it. And we can just rotate the rider torso just up and out of the way. We have our lock piece here, so we'll just go 1/8 turn counterclockwise, rotate that, unlock it, and pull it off. And then here on the bottom, I just put my thumbs under the heels, my hands on the lean bars, and just kind of push up, and the feet will come off the foot pegs. So we'll take our legs here and set them off to the side. A little more work to get to this left one here. So we got to pull this panel off and this panel off to get this plastic panel off, and it mounts to that. So we'll just start running some screws out here, and we'll pull these 2 plastic panels off. Set them off to the side. And then there's all 2.5 screws. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that got to come off to get this panel off. 2, 3, 4, and then this button head is the 5th one. So you can set those there, and then you just pull the plastic cover off. Comes off pretty easily. Get our screws out there. And we'll go ahead and go to the back side of this plastic piece, and you can see there's an M3 screw here in the back. So we'll grab our 2mm driver and just take that screw out, and then pull the plastic foot peg off. Pretty straightforward. Set that off to the side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a 10mm screw here, and we're going to assemble the foot peg to the actual, or the post to the foot peg. So I'm actually going to take the screw here, and I'm going to take a rag and some Magnaforce 2 motor spray. We're going to clean the screw. So basically what we're doing right now is we're cleaning the mold release or machining oil off the screw. You can see all that black stuff that got left on the rag. So we'll clean get the screw nice and clean. And then we'll use some TLR lock thread locker, because we are going steel into aluminum, and we'll put a drop of thread lock towards the end of the screw there. And then I run the screw through the foot peg, and I get the post. And what I do is I'll actually thread it on by hand, get it started. And then I'll actually, there's a flat spot on the bottom of the post, and that actually keys in to the foot peg to keep it from rotating. So actually align those and kind of push the screw out so that I know that it's keyed in, and then I'll tighten the screw down. And then this one I will always finish by hand, because there's no need for it to be anything but very tight. So use a 2mm driver and just tighten that down. And then we'll repeat the process for the other side. Now we're going to take the M3 by 10mm flatheads here that hold the foot pegs to the side guards. We're going to clean them the same way. And then I'm going to put some thread lock on here, because we are going into aluminum again. And I'm basically going to put it through the hole on the side panel here. I'm going to grab one of the foot pegs that's assembled and just start threading it in smoothly. One thing to notice is that on the foot peg there's a little post here, and there's actually a hole in the side of the guard that post fits into, and it keeps it upright, keeps it located, and keeps it from spinning around with still only needing to use 1 screw. So just make sure that you get that aligned as you're threading it in, and then you can crank on this guy and get it nice and tight. And there you go. You got your aluminum foot peg mounted onto the side cover. So now we just want to put the side cover back on. I'll probably lay the bike here on the side just so it's a little easier to see. And we'll kind of put that side cover back on. All 4 of the flathead screws are the same length, so you don't have to worry about getting those aligned or anything. You can just run those in. And then you have your button head with the cap for the lean bar spring here. Just make sure that the lean bar gets aligned there underneath the cap, and then you can tighten that down. We'll go back on the bike stand, and then we'll just put our covers back on. So left foot peg on, installed and ready to go. We'll go ahead and go over to the right foot peg. This foot peg is actually a little bit easier to change. None of the panels need to come off. It actually mounts to the gearbox case here. So what we got to do is we actually got to remove the 5 screws to take the gearbox cover off. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you just grab the foot peg and just kind of rock it back and forth, and it'll work its way off. Except I didn't get that screw all the way out. There we go. And it'll come off. And there's 2 pieces here. Just make sure when we reinstall it, you got to have the 2 pieces kind of fit together. Otherwise, you can't get it on around the fender here. If you are adjusting the pinion, like you can take the fender off, change the pinion without pulling this lower cover off. But if you're going to put them back on with the fender on, they got to be keyed in. Same thing here. You have your M3 screw on the inside. So we'll go ahead and remove that. And then we'll grab our M3x10 screw here. And we will add a little more cleaner and clean this screw. Make sure there's no oil on it. See, pull it a little bit more off. Put a drop of thread lock. Put this screw through the hole. And again, we have the pin here on the foot peg and the pin right there by the screw hole. We need to make sure those things get aligned. And once we do, it's located, and we can just tighten that screw down. So now you got your foot peg on the gear cover case there. Move our plastic one out of the way. So we're gonna basically key these guys in together, and we're gonna put them all, kind of push them on all as one unit. There, and then we're gonna install the 5 screws, and we'll be all set with our foot pegs. And these screws, they don't need to be crazy tight. I just go pretty snug. Foot pegs on, we'll get our rider doll back on, pull them over the top, thumb underneath, pull them down, and then we'll grab our lock unit, kind of pull the jersey up so it doesn't go underneath, press down, and then quarter turn clockwise. Push the rider down, and we'll push this pin through, and body clip lines up, and I push the bend towards the body so it sticks out as little as possible. Jersey down, and them bling and aluminum foot pegs.